Sometimes life quietly prepares for farewell. There is a depth in the gaze of an elderly person that we often fail to notice. It's as if there is a void in those eyes, holding a meaning that transcends everything else. That gaze seems to whisper something through us, but no words are spoken. In their eyes, there is a peacefulness slowly fading away, traces of a conscious or unconscious preparation. This is about the slow farewell of the years lived, the quiet yet determined approach of an ending. And then, a moment comes when something changes, but only the eyes can see this change. Today we will share 6 subtle signs that indicate an elderly person is approaching the final stage of their life's journey. These are not just a warning, they are a call, a reminder, and perhaps they make us reflect on how precious each moment truly is. 1. Turning inward and becoming silent. Old age is an inward journey that comes with time. The person who was once the life of the house is now quieter. They sit and gaze off into the distance. They don't feel the need to speak, nor do they want to, because in their mind, there are already many conversations happening. The echoes of past memories, the voice of youth, the reverberations of what they've lost. All of them ring out together. They'll tell you, "I'm fine," but their voice is faint. They retreat into their own inner world. In a way, they internalize the autumn of life. The questions they once asked are no longer asked. Laughter becomes rarer, and sometimes they can sit for hours without saying a word. This silence is often misunderstood. They've become indifferent. They're upset. They're tired of it all. But really, they're just looking inward, not outward. They choose to live their feelings rather than try to explain them, because trying to explain is exhausting. They are now trying to understand more than they are trying to explain. Their life, their loved ones, their past, and the upcoming farewell. And this silence, perhaps it speaks more than the deepest words in life. 2. Disinterest in daily routines. Life often gains meaning through small habits. Morning coffee, talking to the flowers on the balcony, reading the op-ed columns in the newspaper, watching the street from the window. But one day, those habits slowly fade away. The beloved coffee cup remains empty. The newspaper sits unfolded on the corner of the table. "I think I'll skip my walk today," they say. And that today turns into days, then weeks. Because the rhythm inside has changed. The excitement of daily life gives way to a quiet preparation. It's as though they're rehearsing for a transition to another realm. On the surface, everything seems normal, but inside, a stillness that slows time has settled. The bonds they once had with life loosen. Their favorite meals no longer bring joy. They even glance at the flowers on the balcony with indifference. This isn't giving up. It's more of an inner farewell. The family often doesn't notice. "They're just getting old," is the usual remark. But this disinterest is sometimes the soul's way of saying, "I'm beginning to drift away from this world." Because at this stage, the body is still here, but the soul is slowly cracking open the door to another journey. 3. Time and space confusion. For a moment they stop, their eyes drift far away, and they ask, "What day is it?" Time seems to have started slipping through their fingers. The clock inside creates its own rhythm, while the outside world moves swiftly. The past, the future, the present, they all blur together. The old fluidity has vanished. The world has become a kind of murkiness. Suddenly, they may struggle to recognize you. They might have difficulty recalling your name, but their heart still knows you. Because perhaps on the deepest level, the heart still maintains its connection beyond time. The sweet traces of memories, the echoes of everything once lived, linger in those moments. Sometimes space itself disappears, not knowing who is in the room. They are still physically present, but their soul is somewhere in the past or a faraway place, in the midst of an internal confusion, perhaps even a journey towards a kind of peace. When they ask, "What day is it?" it's not just about questioning time, but perhaps trying to rediscover their own existence, because the soul begins to dance with time, and eventually it dives into a much more inner world than the outside one. 4. Physical fatigue and withdrawal. Over time, the body, like a river, slows down in harmony with the swiftly passing years. Things that were once easy to do now become a struggle. They walk slowly. Even taking a single step is not as easy as they thought. Every movement is an effort. Each step becomes a burden. As the days go by, sitting down, standing up, walking across a room, all of these actions carry a new meaning of exhaustion, and a weight never felt before settles on the shoulders. Those strong, sturdy shoulders, as if tired from carrying the weight of the world, begin to hunch a little more. A quieter, deeper withdrawal begins. Even the smallest movements of the day are no longer done at the speed they once were. And with each new morning, a battle with the body begins. The once strong hands no longer hold the same grip. The eyes no longer see as clearly. But this fatigue is not only physical. Sometimes the soul also becomes heavy, and with the retreat of the body, an inner withdrawal starts as well. And that physical fatigue turns into a silent withdrawal, a kind of farewell to the world. A time arrives when not only movements, but also emotions slow down. 5. Sudden and unexplained emotionality. Sometimes, suddenly, without any external cause, tears may flow from the eyes, or the eyes may fixate on a point, as if falling into a deep void. Crying is not just an emotional burst brought on by a moment. It is the silent release of years of accumulated emotions. Nothing is as simple as it seems. The eyes, with a sense of farewell, get lost in time. This momentary emotional outburst is a sign of an inner journey, perhaps the final stop. Often, this emotional wave cannot be put into words. It can only be felt in the depth of the eyes, in the rhythm of the heart. It may remind them of a memory, or it may appear as though they have completely disappeared into a void. But in reality, it is not a search for meaning. It is the soul's quiet preparation for an internal farewell. And this goes beyond physical exhaustion or the weight of the day. It is the soul silently realizing that the time to say goodbye has come. 6. Silent acceptance. Being ready for goodbye. There comes a day when words are no longer enough. No words can fully express the emotions. And in that moment, everything is conveyed with a single glance. In the eyes, perhaps the entire meaning of a lifetime is hidden. A thank you, a silent blessing. These are not found in words, but emerge from the depths of the soul and are revealed in the eyes. Slowly, quietly, with an inner peace, acceptance comes, as if time has stopped and they've taken a step away from the world. That look is the deepest expression of preparing for a farewell. It's as if saying, "I am ready. Are you ready too?" And this silence speaks of everything being completed, everything falling into place. Sometimes just a touch or a simple gaze solves everything. The calmness and acceptance that comes from reaching an inner peace is the essence of that moment. It is peace coming from the depths of the soul, not the mind. And at that moment, we share a meaning that no words can express, simply with a glance. Knowing these 6 signs does not stop the losses, but it makes farewells more meaningful and peaceful. Because every farewell is actually a reminder of how important love, respect, and understanding are. And every separation reminds us of the value of the remaining moments. Let's listen more. Let's hug more. Because the last wish of an elderly heart is often just for someone to be there with them. A friend, a child, a loved one. Sometimes a smile, sometimes a touch. Knowing that someone is there is the most comforting thing for the soul. If this video touched you, don't forget to share. Maybe it could be the cure for someone's delayed awareness. And maybe give someone else the chance to show a little more love to elderly hearts. As elderly wisdom, we continue to be a voice for elderly hearts. Life is not just valuable because of the years we have lived, but because of the moments we share together. Subscribe and support, because love is the greatest inheritance.